Steve, what do you think, just looking at the bare bones of this, of what's proposed, what are you thinking right now?
Sentencing is good when it comes to harsher sentences for those who are convicted of violent crimes. That could act as a deterrent for others that may commit those offenses. When it comes to bail, I've said this for a long time, and I get this from a lot of police leaders that I talk with when I'm out working, and that is that there is a bail system right now that can work and is workable. It's just not being enforced the way it should. So there is still crown onus, reverse onus, tertiary grounds being what would the public think if this person was released. Well, we're seeing that time and time again when it comes to people being released. And I'm hearing that a lot of it has to do with the fact that our jails are at overcapacity.
Do you think this reverse onus is going to make a difference?
There's already a reverse onus in the criminal code for accused if the criteria is met. So I don't think any of the bail stuff, if you will, is going to make that great of a difference. I think the sentencing will, if in fact they can get tougher sentences for those that are convicted of serious criminal offenses. But there are already grounds in place for the Crown to argue protection of the public, repetition of the offense, court establishing evidence, and there already is a reverse onus aspect in bail as it is. If there's nowhere to house them, they're going to be back out in the streets. And I do think that that's a problem that certainly has not been addressed the way it should be as of today.
And just looking a little bit on that, Steve, on the one hand, you do have people that, you always say perception is reality so much of the time. You have people that their perception is that there's all of these violent offenders that are constantly being let out of jail or being released on bail without being properly punished for the crimes that people think that they've committed. But on the flip side, we have jails that are roughly, at this point, in Ontario alone, about 70% of the people in jail in Ontario are currently waiting for trial or even a bail hearing, or they've been denied bail. That's more than half of the prisoners in Ontario that are already, they have been denied bail, or they're waiting for a trial. So do we have room for more people even?
See, From what I'm hearing, there's not a lot of room in the detention centers right now. And you look at the work environment for those correctional workers who do God's work in those facilities, that's a terrible working environment for them as well. And you look at the overcapacity when it comes to marginalized communities, it comes to mental health, and people are stuck in that system, and it takes too long for things to come to trial. System gets clogged up, and then we have violent offenders who should be the ones being detained are being released. So I don't see how, although this is good news if you're looking at enhancing community safety, I don't think this is the magic pill that's going to fix this problem. We need to either clear out our system now or make the jails bigger. Nobody wants to admit that they want to make bigger detention centers. And we need to really focus on the violent offenders, keeping those in custody, and maybe those that are in custody right now for nonviolent offenses. There should be another reconsideration perhaps as to what should be done with them.
What are your thoughts on this as a former member of the Toronto Police, as a former homicide detective?
Well, again, anytime you can enhance community safety, that's a good thing. But sometimes I think we can be not misled, but perceive things as happening one way with talk. And I think a lot of this is what's being said today with regards to bail improvements. It's already there. We already have a good bail system in place. It's just not being enforced. And I think a lot of that has to do with, again, as we talked about, the overcapacity in our system.
Steve, thank you so much for this. We appreciate it.